What happens when a $1,000 stimulus payment plan for millions of Americans on SSI and SSDI hits the floor of Congress, and Jasmine Crockett stands up and says, "This isn't enough, and it's not even close"? Stick around, because what went down in that room was nothing short of fireworks. All right, let's jump right into it. This story has been picking up steam like a runaway train, and if you've been waiting on any sort of stimulus, you'll definitely want to hear how this congressional fight is unfolding. In this video, I'm giving you the full breakdown on the $1,000 stimulus payment plan currently being debated in Washington. We're going to unpack where the proposal came from, who's supporting it, who's fighting against it, including Jasmine Crockett, and what this all means for people receiving SSI, SSDI, and other Social Security benefits. But more importantly, I'm going to explain why this fight is about way more than just one payment. This is turning into a massive political battle over how America supports its most vulnerable citizens. So first, where did this $1,000 stimulus idea even come from? Let's rewind to about a month ago. With inflation still making it harder for low-income Americans to buy groceries, pay rent, and cover their bills, a group of lawmakers from both parties introduced a new relief package. Tucked inside that package was a simple, straightforward proposal: a one-time $1,000 stimulus check for all SSI and SSDI recipients. Now, the plan was pitched as a fast, emergency relief option. Lawmakers knew there wasn't enough time or political willpower to push through a massive new long-term program, but they figured a smaller, targeted one-time check could at least help people catch up on bills, buy medications, or put food on the table. Seems simple, right? But here's where things got messy. As soon as the plan was announced, it started gaining media attention. Headlines everywhere started saying things like $1,000 stimulus check for disabled Americans approved soon, and relief incoming for SSI and SSDI recipients. People started asking questions. Seniors started checking their bank accounts. Disability advocates began cautiously celebrating. And then, Jasmine Crockett took the floor. During a heated session of the House Committee on Social Programs, Jasmine Crockett went off script and off the rails in the best way possible. She started by thanking her colleagues for at least trying, but quickly made it clear that she thought this $1,000 plan was nothing but a political stunt. Her words: "This isn't a solution. This is a headline grab. You want to pat yourselves on the back for handing out a check that'll barely cover 1 month of rent for most Americans on SSI and SSDI? No, that's not leadership." You could literally hear the air leave the room. And then she dropped the mic, figuratively, of course, with this line: "Our seniors and disabled citizens aren't asking for charity, they're asking for dignity. And $1,000 isn't going to cut it." From there, the room erupted. Supporters of the bill started pushing back. They argued that something is better than nothing, that passing this small relief payment was politically possible, while bigger reforms were dead in the water. One representative responded, "We're trying to get help out quickly. Bigger changes take time." But Jasmine wasn't having it. She fired back, "You've been saying bigger changes take time for the past 10 years. Meanwhile, people on SSDI are rationing their insulin and skipping meals." And that was the moment this debate turned from just another bill discussion into a full-blown congressional fight. So let's unpack what's really at the heart of this. On the surface, it seems like a debate over one check, $1,000, one time. But underneath, this is a much bigger battle about how America handles poverty, disability, and the social safety net. On one side, you've got lawmakers who argue that $1,000 is at least a start. They say it's better than letting people suffer while Congress debates bigger reforms that may never happen. On the other side, you've got people like Jasmine Crockett who say that a Band-Aid fix like this only masks the real issue. that Social Security disability and SSI benefits are too low, haven't kept up with inflation, and leave millions of Americans living below the poverty line.
And honestly, both sides have a point.
Let's get real for a second. If you're on SSI or SSDI right now, $1,000 would help, no doubt about it. That's groceries, that's medications, that's keeping the lights on for another month. But at the same time, Jasmine Crockett's not wrong. After that $1,000 is gone, you're right back where you started, struggling, waiting for Congress to get its act together. And let's not forget, this isn't the first time Congress has dangled stimulus money in front of seniors and disabled Americans. Remember the $1,200, $600, and $1,400 checks from a few years ago? Those were supposed to be emergency help too, and yet here we are again. As of today, the bill has cleared one committee vote, but still needs to pass the full House and Senate. Some insiders say there's a 50-50 chance it passes in its current form. Others are already predicting it'll get watered down even more, maybe turning into a $600 check or only going to the very lowest income tier. And what's Jasmine Crockett doing now? She's doubling down. In the latest round of debates, she introduced an amendment that would increase the payment from $1,000 to $2,500 for SSI and SSDI recipients, with a phase-out for higher earners. She argued that $2,500 is a more realistic number for people who are months behind on rent, medical bills, and basic necessities. Her amendment sparked even more debate. Some lawmakers said her $2,500 proposal was fiscally irresponsible. Others said it was politically impossible to get that number through the Senate. But Crockett's supporters say that even if her amendment doesn't pass, she's forcing the conversation in a way nobody else has been willing to. And honestly, that's something a lot of voters appreciate. So let's talk about what this means for you. If you're on SSI or SSDI right now, should you expect a $1,000 check to show up in your mailbox next week? Unfortunately, no. The bill still has a ways to go before it becomes law. There's no final vote date yet, no official payment schedule, and the amount could still change. But here's what we do know. There's growing political pressure for Congress to do something, anything, for low-income Americans. The $1,000 proposal has more support than previous stimulus proposals this year. Jasmine Crockett's push for larger payments has ignited a much-needed conversation about permanent Social Security reforms. More lawmakers are now openly discussing increasing monthly SSI and SSDI benefit levels, not just one-time payments. So while this fight over $1,000 may seem small, it could be the start of something bigger. And that's where you come in. Advocacy groups are urging people to contact their representatives, sign petitions, make noise on social media. Because the louder the public gets, the harder it becomes for Congress to ignore. And let's not forget, the next few weeks are crucial. With elections coming up and lawmakers eager to show their constituents they're getting things done, there's a real window of opportunity here. So, what's next? Jasmine Crockett is scheduled to speak again in front of the full House next week. Word is she's preparing one of her most powerful speeches yet, calling out not just this $1,000 payment, but the entire system that keeps pushing seniors and disabled Americans to the edge of poverty. And trust me, we'll be covering every word of it. If you want to know what her next move is, and whether this $1,000 stimulus plan survives the next round of debates, click the next video popping up on your screen right now.